Let's get right into it. Number 10. The open plan office. The dream or a nightmare. Picture this. You're sitting at your desk in an open plan office. You've got your coffee, your to-do list, and your best intentions to be productive. But wait, suddenly, Karen from accounting is on the phone with her dog groomer. Bob from HR is loudly discussing his weekend, and Janet in marketing has decided it's time to talk about the latest episode of The Bachelor. Your focus completely gone. Now, you might be thinking, I thrive in an open, collaborative environment. But hold on, scientific studies suggest otherwise. Open plan offices, while great for team spirit and casual chats, actually hurt our ability to concentrate. Research has shown that constant background noise and distractions can reduce cognitive performance by up to 30%. That's a lot of brain power you're losing to the office buzz. Here's the weird part. Your brain's prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for focus and memory, is constantly trying to filter out distractions. But surprise! It can only do this for so long before it gets overwhelmed. The result? You're working twice as hard just to keep track of what you're supposed to be doing, and half as efficiently. And here's the kicker. When your brain's cognitive resources are being drained by background noise, you're not just losing focus in the moment. It can mess with your memory too. That's right, you might forget things you read or conversations you had just minutes ago. It's like trying to read a book while someone's playing the saxophone next to you. So, maybe the open plan office isn't as collaborative as it's cracked up to be sometimes. It's just a collective noise fest that secretly zaps your brain. Number 9. The hidden cost of the collaboration myth. Alright, here's a hot take. Open plan offices are sold as the ultimate collaboration space. It's supposed to be all about spontaneous conversations and creative brainstorming, but plot twist, it's actually killing productivity. You might think that constantly interacting with colleagues makes you more engaged, but the opposite can happen. Studies show that employees in open plan offices report significantly higher levels of stress and frustration, mainly because they're constantly being interrupted. Your productivity dips every time you're pulled out of focus. A quick "hey, got a minute" turns into a 20-minute distraction, and before you know it, you're further behind than you were an hour ago. Imagine trying to do a puzzle while someone keeps dumping pieces on your table. Sure, you might have the occasional aha moment when a colleague's idea sparks yours, but those moments are few and far between. Most of the time, it's just a lot of noise and little to no progress. And here's the kicker, your brain doesn't just forget things when you're distracted. It also starts associating those interruptions with negative emotions, like anxiety or annoyance. Your workspace, supposedly designed to encourage collaboration, actually becomes a minefield of frustration, making it harder for you to get things done. So, the next time someone tells you that the open office is all about synergy, you might just want to remind them that it's also about a steady decline in your ability to concentrate and get anything meaningful done. It's collaboration with a side of stress. Number 8. The noise that kills your creativity. Okay, let's get a little more serious. If you're anything like me, you've probably tried to come up with a genius idea at work and then realized your mind is blank. Maybe it's because you're surrounded by an endless parade of conversations, clacking keyboards, and the occasional wild laughter. Creativity isn't exactly thriving in that environment. The funny thing is, open plan offices may actually be killing your creativity, not helping it. Research has shown that background noise can inhibit creative thinking. It's like trying to brainstorm while a marching band parades through your brain. You need quiet space for your brain to make those weird connections that lead to great ideas. And quiet doesn't mean the silence of a library. It's a comfortable, peaceful background that allows your thoughts to roam freely. But here's the ironic part. When you're interrupted too often, your brain doesn't just lose focus. It literally shifts to fight or flight mode as it tries to figure out what's more important, your email or the loud conversation happening across the room. This stress response makes it harder for your brain to tap into that creative zone. So, next time you're brainstorming in an open office, remember, all that noise isn't sparking innovation. It's probably just drowning your best ideas. Number 7. How open plan offices affect your social skills. You'd think that an open plan office filled with coworkers would make it easier to make friends and build relationships, right? Not so fast. Studies show that people in open-plan offices are actually less likely to engage in meaningful face-to-face conversations than people working in traditional office settings. Here's why. Despite being surrounded by people, employees in open offices feel more disconnected. The constant noise and lack of privacy create an environment where people are less likely to open up and engage in social interactions. And get this, when you do try to have a conversation, there's a good chance you'll have to pause it mid-sentence because someone else is walking by or the phone rings. It's like trying to have a deep conversation at a party where everyone keeps interrupting. Sure, you're all in the same room, but you're not really connecting. You might even start to feel like you're part of a crowd instead of an actual team. Here's the twist. Open-plan offices, meant to encourage communication, actually make employees feel more isolated, leading to lower job satisfaction. So, the next time someone suggests collaboration as the cure-all for office culture, remember that creating a truly connected team might require more than just a big open room and a lot of chairs. Number 6. Your brain's workload gets heavier. Imagine this. You're trying to write that report you've been dreading all day, but every time you start typing, someone shouts across the office or someone else cranks up the music. You think, I'll just tune it out, but guess what? Your brain isn't as good at multitasking as you think. Each interruption adds to your mental workload. Here's the kicker. Your brain is constantly fighting distractions in open-plan offices. The brain's prefrontal cortex, your concentration center, has to keep switching gears between your task and whatever's happening around you. This not only takes up mental energy, but it also slows you down. The worst part, it's not just your focus that's affected. The more you're distracted, the more your working memory suffers. You'll find yourself having to reread that paragraph 5 times before it finally sinks in. It's like trying to solve a math problem while someone is constantly interrupting you with random trivia. It's exhausting, isn't it? And wow, your brain is spending precious energy trying to ignore distractions. It's also losing precious time and focus. By the end of the day, it's not just your productivity that's down, your mental energy is zapped to. So, the next time you feel completely drained after a day in an open-plan office, remember, it's not just the work, it's your brains. Fight to keep it all together. You're like a hamster on a wheel, just trying to keep your focus from rolling away. Number 5. The silent killer of deep work. Raise your hand if you've ever tried to enter that blissful deep work zone, only to have it completely shattered by a loud conversation or an unexpected meeting. Yep, we've all been there. Here's the thing. Open-plan offices are the enemy of deep work, the kind of work that requires uninterrupted focus and creative thinking. You know that feeling when you're so deep into a task, you lose track of time and it's like you're in the zone. Well, that zone is incredibly fragile. A single interruption, even if it's just a minute long, can throw you completely off course. Researchers call this attention residue. It means that after an interruption, your brain can't fully get back into the flow state. Even if you try. It's like you're driving a car, then getting distracted by something on the side of the road. It takes you a few minutes to get back to the speed you were at before the distraction. Except, in the case of open offices, your productivity often never recovers to its original pace. Studies show that it can take up to 23 minutes to regain your focus after an interruption, which makes deep work practically impossible in noisy environments. So, here's the twist. Your so-called collaborative office is actually making you work harder to get the same results. The next time you think, I'll just answer this quick email, know that you're not just losing that moment of focus. You're potentially losing the entire afternoon's worth of deep work. Number 4. The anxiety-inducing performance pressure. Here's something you probably don't think about often. The visibility of open-plan offices can actually make you more anxious. Let's face it, when you're in an open-plan office, you're visible to everyone, and for some people, that's a big deal. When you feel like everyone is watching you type, stare at your screen, or take a phone call, you're subconsciously under pressure to perform. The reality, this creates a stressful environment where employees feel like they're constantly being evaluated, even when they're just sitting there. You start thinking things like, is everyone else working harder than me? Or are they judging me for taking a break? Here's the weird part. Research suggests that being constantly on display in open-plan offices can lead to heightened stress and anxiety. Your brain starts to believe it's under constant scrutiny, which is the last thing you need for productivity. The constant monitoring from others can actually decrease your job satisfaction and increase feelings of insecurity. Ironically, the collaboration culture in open-plan offices was meant to encourage teamwork. But what it often does is make you feel like you're being watched, which leads to stress and reduced job performance. You're not working better, you're just working harder, hoping no one notices when you're secretly scrolling through cat videos on your phone. Number 3, the cognitive overload effect. Okay, let's talk about something a little more science-y. Have you ever walked out of the office feeling mentally fried, even though you've only been working for a few hours? You know, that cognitive overload feeling where your brain feels like it's been running a marathon, even if you've just been answering emails. That's the direct result of the constant mental strain that comes with open-plan offices. Studies show that when you're exposed to constant interruptions and background noise, your brain starts working overtime just to process all the incoming stimuli. It's like trying to listen to a podcast while someone's playing an air horn in the background. Your brain has to tune out the noise, but it can only do so much before it gets overwhelmed. Here's the interesting part. When your brain is overloaded like this, it starts to slow down. It becomes less efficient, which means you end up working harder to get the same result. Over time, this constant mental strain can lead to burnout, which explains why so many people leave work feeling completely drained. So, next time you walk out of your office feeling like you've just climbed Mount Everest mentally, of course, remember that it's not just the workload, it's the constant cognitive overload from the distractions around you. Number 2, the phantom productivity boost. Let's talk about the sneaky illusion of productivity that open-plan offices often create. You know those days where you're looking around the office and thinking, I'm surrounded by people, so I must be getting something done, right? It's like a social version of the bystander effect. The more people you see working around you, the more you convince yourself that you're being productive. But spoiler alert, you're probably not. Here's why. In an open-plan office, the constant hum of activity makes us feel like we're part of something bigger. We think, hey, everyone else is busy, I should be too. But the truth is that sense of being busy often just means you're being distracted. Research shows that being surrounded by too many people and too much noise can trick you into thinking you're accomplishing more than you really are. You start jumping from task to task, answering emails in between phone calls, and telling yourself you're multitasking. But in reality, you're just inefficiently juggling a million things and not really diving deep into any one thing. And here's the funny part, that feeling of being productive is actually detrimental. You might feel like you're doing a lot, but without truly focusing on any task for long periods, you're not giving yourself the space to truly accomplish high-level work. It's like running around in circles, feeling busy, but never actually going anywhere. So, the next time you think that open-plan office hustle is boosting your productivity, just remember, you're not really achieving more, you're just part of the noise trying to keep up with the illusion of productivity. Number 1, the memory drain effect. Okay, here it is, the grand finale. The moment when you realize just how sneaky open-plan offices can be on your brain. Have you ever walked into work in the morning, ready to tackle a big project, and by lunchtime, you feel like you've forgotten half of what you planned to do? You've been busy all day, but you can't seem to recall what you've actually achieved. Here's the punchline. It's the open office messing with your memory. Studies have shown that open-plan offices can have a serious impact on your short-term memory. That's because your brain is constantly distracted by noise, conversations, and background activity. Your hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for storing new information, is being overloaded with all these distractions. The result? You can't retain information as well as you would in a quieter, more focused environment. But here's the kicker. Even if you don't notice it right away, the effects are cumulative. Over time, the constant cognitive load and interruptions build up, and your ability to remember details or recall important facts diminishes. You start forgetting things you did in the morning, and when that happens consistently, productivity plummets. The irony: open-plan offices are meant to enhance collaboration and creativity, but they're actually sabotaging your ability to retain information and focus. Instead of fostering creativity, they're making your brain work twice as hard just to keep track of what's going on. It's like trying to store your groceries in an overstuffed fridge. Things just don't fit or stay organized. So, the next time you walk out of your open plan office feeling like you've forgotten everything important, just know it's not you, it's the office. Your memory might be getting a quiet workout, but unfortunately, it's not the productive kind. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.